Hey everybody, Neil here. I'm going to be playing Ace Attorney tonight, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In fact, I'm going to be playing the entire Ace Attorney trilogy over the next month or so, leading up to the release of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, which is the second 3 games in the series. Now you might be thinking, oh god, Neil, you just finished doing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That was 2 games and it took forever. This is a trilogy. Yeah, but it's not what you think. See, these games are very streamlined. They're the earliest games in the franchise, and they don't have a lot of the bloat that the later games have. They're very streamlined. No nonsense. You blow through these. Now, they do get kind of long, but not nearly as long as Great Ace Attorney. So, these games originally came out on Game Boy Advance in Japan only. Then they were re-released on Nintendo DS worldwide, where they were given all sorts of gimmicky things like touch controls and you shout into the mic to say objection and all that. But you really didn't have to do that stuff because, like I said, it was an up conversion from a Game Boy game, so you could still use the D-pad, the buttons for everything, and you didn't have to touch the touchpad at all if you didn't want to. Anyway, just to show you how streamlined these are, watch this. Like, just time how fast this thing goes. It's the first Turnabout, the very first episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Gasping. Acting. Hey, someone spilled red paint under that woman's face. Damn it. Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. Vince McMahon. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hello, Chief. Wow, nice to see ya. Oh, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yeah. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. Yeah, they kind of retconned this a little in the 3rd game. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it, though. I want to help him out any way I can. I really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair, drama. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? Wait, what's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. Doomed. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Aw, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? Well, if you listen to this Misfits... Never mind. The person responsible for your girlfriend's death, huh? The newspapers say it was you. Now, Phoenix, you're the defense lawyer. You're not supposed to say that. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. For the prosecution, anyway. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do, partner. August 3rd, 10 a.m. sharp, District Court, Courtroom number 2. We're already in court, only 5 minutes into this. In the Great Ace Attorney, it took forever. It was like 20 minutes to a half an hour to get into court. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. I get to do the judge's voice again. Who should be Prosecutor Payne's voice? I know.
Your Honor, the case you're about to try is one of the most complicated, the most sensitive of problems in the history of jurisprudence. Gosh, I love your robe.
And then the judge is like, we've got to get through this case quickly. I'm late for my set at the Megum. As he's pushing a wine cart into the courtroom. And Phoenix is just like, the defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Gulp. Hands shaking. Eyesight fading. Excuse me, are you having a stroke? This test will only consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely, please. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. Okay, now we have a lot of time in this case. It's so short, so let's go for the silly answers. The, defendant? That's, Mia Fey.
Wrong, Wright. Look, I have to leave. I have to go home. I'm expecting a delivery.
Aw, come on, Chief. There's no need to be going so soon, is there?
Listen, Wright. The defendant is the one on trial, your client. I mean, that's about as basic as you can get.
I put my foot in it this time. I've got to relax. Look, Chief, I'm distracted by something. 2 things, in fact. Sorry, I couldn't hear your answer. I'm very old, you see. I'm hard of hearing. I'll ask once more. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. Let's go for Phoenix, right? The defendant is, me, right?
Right. Have you completely lost your mind? Focus. The defendant is the person on trial. You're his lawyer.
Oh yeah, right.
This is no laughing matter. You did pass the bar, didn't you?
No, I stopped at the bar on the way here. Sorry, I couldn't hear your answer. I have tinnitus, you see. I'll ask once more. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. Larry Butts. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Please tell me, what's the victim's name? Whew, I know that one. Glad I read this case report cover to cover so many times. It's... wait. Uh-oh. No way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here.
Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name?
Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Of course you do. Women, either they always have a migraine or they're always cold. One of the two.
Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press tab to check on it at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you.
Or you press RB, the right bumper, like it says in the bottom right-hand corner there for court record. So we move over here. Cause of death. Doesn't give. What's this? Cindy. Do we need her full name? Oh, profiles. The victim in this case, Cindy Stone, a model. She lived in an apartment by herself. Okay. Okay, Mia Face, Cinder Block, Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone, Your Honor. Correct. Now, tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was what? Poisoned, hit with a blunt object, or strangled. Okay, well, I just looked at the autopsy, plus it was the opening cinema, so... She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then, first, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor.
As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was?
The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim.
I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Statue added to the court record.
Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use tab to check the court record frequently. Do I look like I have a keyboard in front of me, Mia? Clack.
Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness.
The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand.
Chief, what do I do now?
Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you?
Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony.
Didn't they all die?
I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me ever. What's it to you anyway?
Mr. Butts, what you just described is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder.
What do you mean by one of them? Lies, all lies. I don't believe a word of it.
Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died.
Passport added to the court record. Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way.
The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies.
Daddies? Sugar?
Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude, we can clearly see just what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right, I don't think you want him to answer that question.
Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I stop him from answering, or wait to see what happens? Stop him from answering. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to the case.
Oof, wins.
Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, oh, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Clack. Let's continue with the trial, shall we?
I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone.
Yes, quite.
Oh boy, this is not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Go. Well, did you or did you not? Heh. Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Uh-oh. He went. What do I do? Stop him from answering. Send him a signal. Lie like a dog. No, no, Phoenix, no. Don't tell your witness to don't tell your client to commit perjury. Well, see, it's like this. I don't remember. You don't remember? Well then, we'll just have to remind you. I've got a bad feeling about this. We have a witness that can prove that he did go to the victim's apartment that day. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body. Just before making the gruesome discovery, he saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Clack, clack, clack. Order! Order in this court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sott to the stand. Oh, this guy looks like a goof. Who should his voice be? Ooh, I know who his voice should be. Hang on just a sec, folks. Mr. Sott, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh, yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sott, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. This may kill my voice, but I want to do it. I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, don't you know, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly, it was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? You just told him to lie, dude. Can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sott used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Blackout record added to the court record. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, yes, Your Honor? You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor. All right, Wright, this is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? That's not how logic works, Mia, but okay. How do I prove he's not guilty? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find the contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okie dokie. Open the court record with tab, then point out the contradictions of the testimony. A keyboard where? What are you talking about? Witness account. I was going door to door, don't you know, selling subscription when I saw the man fleeing an apartment. Isn't a man leaving an apartment a common sight?
I find it odd you would take notice of him.
I don't know. He just seems strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad and yet frightened at the same time, don't you know? Just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime.
The defense requests that the witness refrain from conjecture.
Of course, what the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious. So what happened next? I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him.
Hold it. Half open, you say?
Yes, the door was half open, yes. I watched for a moment, but no one came to the door to close it. That's odd in a big city like this, I thought. I see. And what happened next? Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment.
Hold it. What gave you the idea to do that?
Well, the door was half open, you see. Isn't it only human to want to peek? We climb mountains because they're there. It's the same thing. Truer words had never been spoken. Anyone would look inside.
Why did Payne cut him off so quickly?
So you looked into the apartment. What happened next? Then I saw her lying there. A woman, don't you know? Not moving. Dead, in fact.
Hold it. Are you sure she was dead?
What? Well, no, I guess I wasn't. She wasn't moving at all, and there was blood everywhere.
I guess that would look fatal to anyone. Very well, what happened next?
I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside.
Hold it. So you didn't touch anything in the apartment?
Yes, I mean, no, nothing.
Okay, what happened next?
I thought to call the police immediately.
Hold it. You thought to call the police? Does that mean you didn't actually call them?
Please, listen to the rest of his testimony. You thought to call the police. What happened next? However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working.
Hold it. The phone in her apartment wasn't working.
Yes, I mean, no, it wasn't, right.
But you said you didn't go into the apartment, or did you?
Oh, that. I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on the shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call. And that phone wasn't working, correct? What happened next? I went to a nearby park and found a public phone.
Hold it. Why use a public phone?
Well, you see, I don't have a cell phone on me. And being the middle of the afternoon, there was no answer at any of the nearby apartments.
Ah, right. What time did you call again?
I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m.
Hold it. 1 p.m. Are you certain?
Yes, absolutely.
He seems really confident. 1 p.m. Right, doesn't that seem strange to you? Present some evidence to contradict him. I remember the time exactly was 1 p.m. Okay. Well, if we look at the power was out from noon to 6 p.m. That doesn't... Oh. The autopsy report says that the time of death was between 4 and 5 p.m. Objection. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure?
Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain, don't you know?
Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. Oh, Phoenix. How do you explain this 3-hour gap?
Oh, that, Objection, Your Honor. This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time.
After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question, don't you know? Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out the contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? He gets to testify again after clearly lying? That's the way this game goes, though. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the TV. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video or a taped program or something. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. Edwin is starting to fade away there. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I certainly do. Yeah, I've got this one. Okay, I don't even have to cross-examine any of this. Just, you see, I found... saying the time is probably coming from the television. Hold it, buddy. Televisions use electricity. Objection. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. Oh no! You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Gah! The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait a minute, I remember now. Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. This is like the only time in the whole series where somebody actually points that out. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. This is gonna totally destroy my voice today. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. Stuttering. You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. I already see the issue here. Table clock in the apartment. Oops. Killer used. Okay, the murder weapon was a statue. Now it is a clock, but well, the murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now how is this supposed to be a clock? Go! You and your objections and your evidence! Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness has stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock all along. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now? Yes, I do. Always say yes. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove I went in there! I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. saw it. The sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. Objection. Well, what's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never. Look, the clock, I heard, no, I mean, I saw, Shut up, shut up, shut up. I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her and he should burn. Burn, give him death. Edwin calling for the death penalty. Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claim. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is writing on this. I'd better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sod heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply... examine batteries, ask neighbors. Try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now. Hear it in court. Or here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock, please? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it is 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? The judge was starting to turn into Edwin there for a second. Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sot heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sot, try to talk your way out of this one. Huh! You forgot one thing. Uh-oh. What's he talking about now? Well, it may seem like the clock is running 3 hours slow. It proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case, don't you know? He's right. How am I going to prove that? Wait a minute, Phoenix. Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems your lack of critical evidence to support your... It seems you lack critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sot. I came all this way down here to testify, and look at what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. Ugh, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sot. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's all over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you still can't win. Try thinking out of the box. Outside the box, even. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow, and think it through. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and you'll have your proof. Right? Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Ooh. Yes. Wait. Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course I have, Your Honor. I'm Phoenix Wright. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a shadow of a doubt. Huh, tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Boop, boop, boop. Here, right here. Take that. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sot? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? He's foaming at the mouth. Order! Order, I say! Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness... He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright... Yes, Your Honor? I have to say I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. Sorry, I'm having a stroke here. And find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor, and you're turning into Ed Wynn there. You better watch your voice there. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. Yay! Clack. And with that, this court is adjourned. Oh, we didn't even have to take a recess. It turns out that Frank Sot was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sot let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sot grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Whew! Still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no, I mean, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But
My Cindy Windy gone, man. Gone forever.
Larry, she was a... Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry.
Harry? You don't even know my name?
Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Mr. Harry Butts, innocent. Brother of Seymour Butts.
Oh, thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate dinner, movie, my treat.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook, you know. Oh, hey.
Here, take this. It's a present.
A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that...
Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me.
Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. That's not your payment, though. You still owe us money.
Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you want to cry?
Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way.
Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay.
Oh, I'm not sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Phoenix, don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? I believe it's this. Take that! Hits him upside the head with it. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her.
Huh? What about that clock?
This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled.
Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all.
You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will.
Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks.
Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? Rawr. And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon to be at the center of another incident, and my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. Ominous foreshadowing. I mean, the end. A brand new episode has been added.